areas. But also we've got some exciting news regarding different price adjustments on a few of these properties that to me make them very attractive in this current market. We're going to talk about replacement cost of some of these properties so that we can see why I feel they are underpriced. We'll also just talk about how they fit into the general real estate market here in Guanacaste, as always with the mission of empowering our viewers out there, the worldwide audience of Costa Rica Matt followers. As always, if you are interested in buying real estate here in Guanacaste, if you've visited the Tamarindo area and decided you're ready to invest, do be sure to email me at matt@costaricamat.com. You can also visit that website, costaricamat.com, and find our awesome 3D virtual tour of the beach areas down here around Playa Negra and Avellanas, just to the south of Tamarindo. In that tour, we've got all sorts of fun drone flights, really cool 3D perspectives where you can sit there with your phone and look around the beach. So be sure to go to costaricamat.com to check that out. Our topic again today are homes for sale here in the Guanacaste real estate market. If you have questions about any of these properties, don't hesitate to post them in the live chat comments. You can also post them in the comments later, as I do tend to follow those and respond to people who are kind enough to comment on my videos. You can also like my videos and subscribe to my channel. I do have over 360 Costa Rica videos with all kinds of information, not only about real estate, but about moving to Costa Rica, taxes, on and on and on. John, absolutely stoked to see you. John and Christine in Virginia. If anybody else is out there and wants to check in, don't hesitate to do so. Really appreciate everybody watching. As always, we do try to go live every Friday at noon Costa Rica time. Sometimes I miss it, but I do always try to be there for you with important real estate information. Todd, thank you very much for joining us from North Carolina as well. We'll be talking about the best place to visit, and if you're interested in investing throughout this show, really, we'll be looking up and down the Guanacaste real estate market. I work in an area here of the Nicoya Peninsula that, let me show you here as we add the map to the stage. I focus on the beaches that range from right up here in Playa Potrero all the way down to Playa Azul, San Juanillo, down here on the southern areas of the coast. And today we're going to look at different properties. One we'll be looking at is up here right outside of Brasilito in an ultra touristy area. Some of the other properties we'll look at are further down the road here in less touristy areas, and you'll be able to compare and contrast, based on your goals, which of those areas might sort of work best. You obviously have to pay more to acquire a property up closer to those high demand touristy areas. And if you're looking to get a budget purchase, you might want to consider somewhere outside of there. But anyhow, once again, I'm going to take a quick moment to take a sip of my green La Croix here. Thanks very much for joining me. In just a moment, we'll be going over 7 homes for sale here in Guanacaste, Costa Rica. Stay tuned. All right, folks, let's add to the stage our first listing here. And I want to thank Dan Williams, my awesome colleague over at our Tamarindo brokerage, for sending in his Calle Uno home. This is exactly representative of what is on the market currently in Tamarindo. And I personally like Calle Uno for a few key reasons. First of all, let's look at the location over here in this tab. Calle Uno is just outside of Tamarindo. It's not right in the middle of town, which for me is a huge bonus to begin with. You're going to have fewer days per year where you're dealing with absolute madness and that downtown traffic. However, the homes are very close to Tamarindo itself, and whether you're renting or living there, the access into downtown Tamarindo is perfect. The other thing that I like about the Calle Uno homes, here we're looking at the project on the map. It's a horseshoe community coming right off the main road where you actually have, I feel, a great sense of security because, yes, the homes are built really wall to wall as filling up the properties. That's what you would see in Tamarindo because land is in such high demand. You can't really buy big lots for reasonable prices. But this configuration allows for great security because you've got neighbors next door to each other, protecting each other, and really making it where you don't have those sort of fence lines with public areas that can make it tricky to ensure your security. These are all new homes that were built in 2021, 2, and 3. They're representative of the boom of construction where Tamarindo had sort of a narrow window that allowed for new construction. And the houses actually turned out really nice. They're all solid concrete block construction. That's another big plus to me. I have less enthusiasm when I see builders here doing very fast steel frame construction using, one of the sort of lighter wall systems. And really, they just lend themselves to being excellent rental properties because they are right in Tamarindo. And at $600,000, a Calle Uno home is really about the price point for a good new 3-bedroom home right in Tamarindo at the moment. If you wanted to go into the Senderos gated community next door, you would already have to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars more to get a home simply because you've got that extra exclusivity of being in a gated community. At Calle Uno, you will also benefit, therefore, from not having those common costs, the HOA fees that can eat away at your rental income if that's what you're hoping to do. So if you're currently seeking a Tamarindo rental income property and you want to be sort of living in a home when you come visit, Calle Uno is one of few options where you're going to be under $1 million for what I would consider to be a very nice home. The other options in Tamarindo you're seeing right now in Tamarindo Park, as I mentioned, Senderos already, and Calle Uno Tamarindo Walk, you're seeing price points that are a little bit higher. At that Calle Uno Tamarindo Walk, you only have pre-construction homes available. And actually, I think that project has a new name now. I shouldn't call it that anymore, but it's slightly outside of town, and that project is pre-construction homes as well. Let's now go to a property that I want to talk about, a new listing I am super excited about. Primarily, well, for first and foremost, what needs to be talked about is the location of this next listing. And if you're trying to get close to the area's private schools, or if you're trying to get to the Flamingo Marina and all of the stuff that's happening up around Brasilito, it can be next to impossible to find a large single-family home like the one we're going to talk about here. Typically speaking, if you go into Reserva Conchal, for example, this enclave gated community you can see right here, the homes for sale are very few and far between. It's mostly condo inventory, and a simple home, one that's fairly, maybe 2,000 square feet, 2,500 square feet, you're already talking about, $1.6 million, $2 million, really high price points because of the exclusivity of Reserva Conchal. That would also be the case for Mar Vista, an exclusive gated community right here, closer to the marina. Getting a home in there costs you absolutely top dollar because of the exclusivity of that particular location and the gated community. Not everyone wants to be in a gated community, however, and, oh, sorry, I pulled up the wrong property here. If you don't want to be in a gated community, this listing, which we're calling The Retreat, is absolutely exceptional because, and I failed to show the location, it's tucked into an area right outside of Huacas here, where you have unbelievable access to everything. Here's the house on Google Maps. Up there, you feel like you're in the woods. It has 7,000 square meters of property, or basically an acre and a quarter. That kind of lot is not available in Reserva Conchal, for example. And in Mar Vista, your acre and a quarter lot would usually include only mostly, sort of a slope away from your building pad. You feel like you're in the woods. You don't hear a lot of noise. You're 100% private, yet just 200 yards down the road, you connect to the paved highway where you can be at the Costa Rica International Academy, CRIA, one of the area's top private schools, in probably 2 minutes. Really, if there's a family who wants to relocate close to CRIA, this couldn't be any closer, and I don't know of a single listing currently available that would put you closer to the school itself. As you went up further in the corridor here, you'd also see that the house is a very fast drive to the Flamingo Marina, which is only about 10 minutes up the road. You've got the Potrero Bay and everything that brings as well. So really, this location here, just quick driving distance to everything, is a spectacular retreat feeling, yet you've got huge access to the most important stuff in Guanacaste. Here you can see in this picture the home tucked, only a 4 or 5 minute drive down to Brasalito Beach itself. And it's actually a set of 2 homes. What you're getting here is much more construction than you could typically find in some of these communities where houses are tucked close together. The main home is almost 2,400 square feet. It is a 3-bedroom with an absolutely remodeled interior. It had super solid bones. It was in rundown condition when the current owners purchased it. And you can see they utterly ripped out everything and put in gorgeous new kitchen, countertops, bathrooms. Everything in the main house was done from the floor up to this really amazing ceiling that I'm going to try and pull up. If we can find one of the pictures that shows it. They elevated their roof so that here's the guest house. So essentially there's a 3-bedroom main home and this 1-bedroom guest house. You've got the ability to bring down a large family or to have, your mother-in-law suite out alongside the creek on the back of this property. And here you can see from the house, they both added this incredible balcony space up here where you have amazing views of the surrounding valley. That's what the balcony looks like. But they also elevated the roof above the kitchen so that you've got this open space. Here you can see it. This open space that allows air to go straight up, and then another roof above this opening, obviously that keeps the rain and the sun from directly coming into the house. So you've got absolutely incredible airflow. You also have perfect light. During the day, you really don't have to turn on lights inside the home because of that opening in the ceiling. And like I said, in the current market, it can be almost impossible to find a 4-bedroom compound like this with a main home, guest home, a pool, and 7,000 square meters this close to CRIA, the marina, and everything, anywhere under $1.5 million. In this circumstance, I feel you've got a very fair price for all of the remodeling, the square footage, the enormous property in that location. They also have a well. There's a lot of infrastructure with a road, retaining walls, tons of stuff that they've done to really make the lot something solid. And typically in that area, you can't see that kind of package, like I said, anywhere under $1.5 million. The current owners are pricing it at essentially what they have put into the property since they purchased it. They're not one of these builders who is looking to make a huge profit. They purchased at one price, invested heavily into remodeling every square inch of the place, and now they're trying to move on because they want to go back to their Tamarindo property. We will be talking about, we'll be talking more with the owner of that home in a future video. By the way here, Paul, love to see that you're joining us. Thanks very much for joining us. I absolutely agree. Todd, you should check out Playa Junquial. Paul is a very smart guy. Definitely someone whose advice should be listened to 100%. Anyway, let's go on to our next listing. If you're not in the market for a $1.25 million house, if you're looking for something a little bit simpler, a listing that I want to promote here on my channel, even though it belongs to a competitor, is this 2-bedroom, 1-bath home here in Playa Junquial, which listed at $299,000 is about the most affordable home that close to the beach that you're going to find anywhere in Guanacaste. It's sold unfurnished, but completed. The home itself is brand new, or it was only completed a couple years ago. Nobody has ever lived in it. They've just been trying to sell it since it was built. And the amazing thing, again, about this property really is the location here in Playa Junquial. It is only about 1 block walking distance from the beach. I'm going to pull it up here on maps so that you can get an idea again. This property is located right here in the old Palma Azul project, which originally I was marketing on this channel. It's a resale in that project, and the walking distance down here is about 50 yards to get to the main road, and then it's 300 yards to come down to the beach here and enjoy the ocean itself. Typically speaking, nowadays in Guanacaste, it can be very difficult to find anything this close to the water at that $300,000 price point. I love this listing because, again, it is somewhat of a motivated seller. They want to move on and invest their money elsewhere. Also, they just need to move on with their investment overall. And at $300,000 in the current market, even though this is my competitor's listing, and I love you, Andres, this is a spectacular little property, walking distance to the beach. And at $299,000, I can't offer you many alternatives that would give you that short of a walk, especially from a new home. That is situated on about a 1/4 acre, and there you can see the location again. Absolutely, I love this listing, which the agent is calling Surf Heaven. If you want to know more about this or other listings, do be sure to reach out to me. And also, if anyone has questions, absolutely feel free to post them in the comments. John Miller, absolutely. Pleasure to see you as well. I was waiting to confirm that you had joined once again. The next house I want to talk about is one of our price reductions. And really, it's a property that many people, it presents the unique opportunity of being both a home and a potential business. And the business I am talking about is Kasa Kiki in Playa Avellanas. So now we've moved further south, out of the really touristy areas of Tamarindo and Brasilito. Our last property was in Junquial. This one here is located in Playa Avellanas. In Avellanas, you don't find a ton of real estate that's for sale close to the actual beach, that really puts you in the center of what will eventually be your the town that is developing. I want to show here on Google Maps once again the location of Kasa Kiki, and I've got to figure it out myself. But essentially, you are right on this block here. Only, you're right across from Cabinas Las Olas in Playa Avellanas. Actually, you're right down here. Absolutely. The next listing we will look at is Casa Rosa, a brand new Avellanas listing as well. But anyway, few opportunities are located downtown Avellanas, and few opportunities in Avellanas give you 3,500 square meters of absolutely buildable lot area. It can be tough to acquire that much land in Avellanas right now. Because you have existing construction, you've got a huge advantage that it already has a water meter, an electric meter, etc. Your utilities are set up. The price has been brought down to $639,000 in a market where you're really seeing few opportunities that are priced reasonably. Avellanas is quickly growing. They've got the new Mandi Homes project that's going to be, I think, another 4 or 5 dozen homes at a minimum. You've had the Enclave that is 51 condos. Those units are 50% sold at this juncture. You also have a lot of developers who have bought parcels there and are putting commercial projects down by the beach. And the reason the community is exploding is that you've finally got water access after many years of Avellanas not having it. So as we look at Kiki here, you've got an opportunity for your own home. There are several structures on the property that are super comfortable, essentially livable suites all over the place. You could live in one of the properties yourself and rent out the rest of the cabins for business, or for income rather. And there's a lot of room to expand. Of those 3,500 square meters, you would have buildable footprint up to 70%, meaning you could add on a ton of construction here. But in the meantime, you've got plenty for your family to live and to also generate some income renting the extra suites. You really won't find many buildable properties that close to Avellanas. And now at 639, they've brought down the property to essentially what they feel is, near replacement cost. And it presents an opportunity for somebody who could possibly acquire it and maybe add some cabins, etc., to really get something that's a bargain compared to what the finished product would have cost them. In Avellanas currently, you're seeing 4 and 5 bedroom Balinese style homes sell very close to $1 million. You're seeing those Enclave condos sell close to $400,000 for a 2-bedroom unit. So in the market at 639, Kasa Kiki, which is an exclusive listing of our rockstar agent Camille, represents a great investment opportunity and kind of a unique piece of real estate in that market, given the buildability, the location, and what you're already working with at the property. Let's go on to another huge price reduction that brings a property to an underpriced market value. Let's talk about Casa Caleta here, which, yes, in Spanish, Caleta can have some other connotations, but Casa Caleta, their last name pronounced in Tico Spanish, is now brought down to $649,000. And if we want to do some quick replacement cost analysis on this home, I can show you pretty fast how this is priced below what it would cost to replicate this massive home. It measures 7,500 square feet. It has a 2-story, really spacious feel. This is the second story of the home with a 2-story ceiling itself. Really, I haven't measured the ceiling all the way to the peak here, but you've got this voluminous sort of cathedral-like space upstairs. The first level has 3 bedrooms. The second level has 2. You have 7 total balconies in the entire property. So at 4,500 square feet of construction in the currently, let me do one quick calculation. Currently, you could easily say that even an efficient builder of this kind of home, somebody who was undercharging or doing an easy job for something that's 4,500 square feet, an absolute bare minimum per square foot construction price would be in the $125 per square foot range. I bet if Doug, the builder who put this property together, was watching, he'd say there's absolutely no way you could build something similar. I mean, there's hardwood stairs, hardwood cabinetry throughout the ceilings, the rafters, all of the custom finishes. It's a really quality home with soaring ceilings as well. And that $125 per square foot as a bare number for the construction, that comes out itself to $562,000 as your initial construction cost. In Tierra Pacifica, the community where Kasa Keta is located, currently your lowest price for a lot is $170,000. So if we're tallying things up and we've got 562 and 170 for just a lot and a 4,500 square foot cheaply built home, obviously we're looking in the range of about $730,000 to replace this home. I would argue that's beginning to just scratch the surface. Really, nowadays, to build this high quality Spanish colonial construction, you're gonna be looking more in the $150 to $175 per square foot range. And then we also have to talk about furnishing a 5-bedroom house, adding all of the appliances, the landscaping, on and on and on. So if we're talking about $730,000 just using $125 per square foot and $170,000 for the lot, really, just to start out, the asking price at Kasa Keta represents an underpriced or under market value price for the home. And if you're out there looking for a larger property in a gated community, I can guarantee you the 4,500 square foot homes in places like Conchal, Mar Vista, Las Catalinas, for example, or all of these luxury exclusive gated communities. Hacienda Pinilla, if you wanted to get that big of a home, you'd be looking at a minimum $1.7, $1.8 million price point. So Kasa Keta, in my opinion, is one of the best priced large homes in our area. There you have access to the Tierra Pacifica amenities. They have this gorgeous multi-tiered pool, really nice facilities there with a yoga salon, all kinds of really nice amenities for the fact that it's only a community with 75 lots. Kevin King, thanks very much for your question. If you are asking about, I didn't see when your question popped in. If you're asking about Kasa Keta, actually, I believe it's the first property for which we've had an HOA fee. Yep, I'm looking back. It is the first one with an HOA. In 2023, their fees were $3,500 per lot per year, just under $300 a month. With that, you get 24/7 security. You get the pool maintenance, all kinds of hiking trails. The community has a gym with a decent number of machines. And obviously, they maintain the common areas using that as well. In fact, let's take a quick trip to the Tierra Pacifica common amenities. Here on our 360-degree tour with CostaRicaMatt.com, This is the main pool at Tierra Pacifica, and you can see it's surrounded by lush forest on, everywhere. As you walk around the pool, you really get a sense that the developers did, just a great job integrating the facilities into the landscape. They have a huge clubhouse. Here is the meeting space. You even have an outdoor shower here. This is looking down from the other side. You've got a lap lane for the pool down here. The kids' pool is up here. This is where Jonas and Daniel learned to swim. The community also has hundreds of acres, or actually 80 acres of green zones with those hiking trails you can walk through, and is just a wonderful place where the forest has been preserved around these homes. So again, that was Kasa Keta, now listed at $649. Kevin, the $299,000 property does not have an HOA fee. Those are independent, titled, completely separate homes in that neighborhood. So absolutely, at Palma Azul, the Surf Heaven property, you have zero HOA fees. Another very attractive thing about that property. There, the fact that you're on sort of a fifth of an acre, you also have a lot less exterior maintenance that you would need over time. And it would be one of the sort of easier homes to manage. Whereas Kasa Keta, for example, is on an acre and a quarter, and the retreat, the property up above Brasilito, was on, again, one of those bigger lots at 7,000 square meters. Quickly, I'm going to cover one more listing here that I think is underpriced considering the value that you are getting. And then we'll actually call it quits here, simply because I've got an appointment out there. And TJ, if you've been out there watching and waiting to come into the office, I appreciate your patience. Let's finalize everything here. We won't get to Casa Rosa today, but we'll be back to talk about it soon. Let's talk about Casa Almendro, an absolutely new exclusive listing that Camille, our super agent, again, is handling. And let's talk about why at $595, I feel this home is priced far below what it is actually worth. First of all, this is a unique home that you cannot replicate. The owners here used real tree trunks, 19 of them, as the structure for the home. And there are live edges of the trees integrated into the home throughout. Here you can see on the porch even, the tree is perfectly worked into the wall so that you've got this amazing jungle feeling inside. But really, the owners here also went absolutely overboard on making this an extremely comfortable home. And what it cost to build, or what it would cost to build something similar today, is far more than the $595,000 they're asking for it. This is a situation where sellers spent years building the perfect home. They had a couple years where they were deciding what to do. They were going back and forth from the US, etc. The home eventually needed some upgrade. Really, they had to just bring it back to life because there was a period where they weren't here. They have just gotten done essentially bringing all of the details back up to the level where it feels like a nearly new home. It's mostly furnished, nearly turnkey, but definitely in absolutely spectacular condition. They've done all kinds of little tweaks and repairs, repainted. They've upgraded the landscaping, did a ton of things just to basically make the home almost new again here in 2024. And you can see from the outside that this is really a special, property altogether. You've got over 2,000 square feet of living space in the home. You have 2.5 acres of property. It's a full hectare. And this lot is ideally positioned at the end of this little private community. So you have 0 people driving past your house. It is literally positioned in the forest here at a location where no one will drive up and bother you. You've got soaring ceilings. They designed the whole thing for airflow, really high quality sliders, windows, doors throughout. The ceiling fans are these amazing, aerodynamic, low sound, low energy design. They're perfectly quiet and really they move a ton of air, which is brilliant in Guanacaste. And again, those trees popping out of the house in every corner is something that you could not rebuild at the price they're asking for the house. They need to move on with their lives. They're asking $595, which is frankly well below what they paid for the property. And you can see from the quality of everything that really it's a custom home that was absolutely designed in every detail by someone who was kind of obsessive about every detail. For example, throughout the house, there's a ton of this upward facing lighting so that in the evening, essentially you can have this incredible ambiance, no harsh, lights really glaring down, but this feeling that the house, with the lighting going up is, just absolutely beautiful. Again, the airflow included in this property was ideal for Guanacaste because you don't have to use a lot of AC. The house is ready to have solar panels added. And again, they just got done bringing it up to nearly new condition. So you've got a property that's ready to move in when you bring down just a few furniture items as well. It comes with a garage, like I mentioned, that full hectare of property, and it's only $599,000. I'm going to go ahead and welcome into the office my client, TJ. He's here for a meeting. Folks, as always, it has been spectacular to talk about homes for sale here in Costa Rica. Really appreciate you joining me as always. And do be sure to subscribe to my channel for more Costa Rica real estate videos. Thanks for watching.